Never going to walk. Never going to walk. No more. Three. No. Something like it. And let's mark.
What it did do was, I thought, what is happening here? We were promised this campaign 8 years ago. We were promised the refurbishment of Ardrossan Harbour 8 years ago, and nothing has happened. So I got in touch with my like-minded community people, and we got together and said, what can we do about it? And that's how the campaign started. Now that was 6 months ago, and since then we've had a public meeting in Ardrossan Civic Centre, which was full to capacity and we deterred people away for health and safety reasons. The strength of feeling about this subject, about the route staying from project to Ardrossan and vice versa, is just amazing, the amount of support we have. We have a petition out, it's a petition for a paper petition at the moment. The digital one will follow. Somebody else will explain to you about that, why that was delayed. But anyway, this is where we are. Here we are, and we are absolutely delighted to be here to see.
And obviously, we're saying Ardrossan Harbour, and our focus has been for the mainland side. But we know it affects us all. It affects much wider communities. It affects the whole of North Ayrshire, and we're seeing this impact. I don't need to stand here and tell you how it impacts. It impacts you guys a lot more than it does in the mainland. But what we're learning is it's the economic impact, it's the social impact, it's the impact it's having on multiple communities. We visit people, hospital appointments, and it's ridiculous. Who remembers ATB?
Yes.
Does it feel that we won that? Right now it doesn't, because we're back here in 2025 having the same fight. We need to make sure we're not back here in 2030 having another fight to get this done. It's been dragging on and on and on, and it seems to us there was lots of small conversations happening about it amongst family, businesses, friends, what's happening with vote, but not a bigger conversation. And like Francis said, we kind of stumbled into it, and then as we got together and talked about it, we get more annoyed, and then we realised the more folk we talk to, there was more annoyed folks. We thought, let's get all the annoyed folk together and see what we can do, because it's past the time for just sitting back now. Businesses need time to plan, and they've not been given that. When they announced the sanitary sale on the 13th of January, they announced that, I believe it was around the 27th, 28th of December, that the boats would stop from Ardrossan. They've opened about 2 weeks' notice, and that's no use to anyone. And if we get the dream scenario where the Transport Secretary, 7th or 8th Transport Secretary, if they turn around this afternoon and say, we're going to do the harbour works now, we're going to start tomorrow, it means there's going to be no boats for a minimum 2 years, I think. Some people have given estimates up to 4 years for the work to get done. If that's the case, folk need time to plan, businesses need time to plan. Otherwise, how many businesses are going to be here for the boats coming back? And that's a big concern. And that's something we've focused on in our campaign. Because what needs to happen is there has to be some sort of compensation to the businesses here in the island and in Ardrossan to help them cope with that uncertainty of when the harbour's getting done, if the harbour gets done. Because I think part of the problem is everyone's telling us that's the case. Everyone's for Ardrossan. Transport Scotland, CalMac, Peel, everyone's saying the same thing, but we're still not getting anywhere. And it's getting to the stage where, while he's right, we need folk to start writing letters. Fiona Hislop is the main block at the moment. The business case was ready last May. We were told it was only delayed when the general election was called. General election's been and gone. They've still not released the business case. We're waiting for, I believe it's the 9th iteration of the business case. And they're still negotiating over who's paying what. But we need the boat sailing to the right place. What we've talked about it, and we want to hear from some of you guys and how it's affected you and what you hope to get out of it all.
This has to be a driver for change, and we have to get everyone round the table who has to be round the table to get the decision made. Now, when I've been looking at this, since the decision was made in 2017, and we're still standing here today, as everyone has pointed out, and no decisions have been made. And that's appalling. I've met with Peel Ports. They assure me that the money's still on the table, so that's what they've told me. I've met with the Chief Executive of CalMac, who say, yes, it's progressing, we're on another iteration of the business case. No one's ever seen this business case, or no one that I've met. So I'm just going to leave this here just now, because I think it's really, we're really here today to hear what you have to say. But from my perspective as your MP, I am here to lobby and to make sure that your voice is heard in relation to this issue and any other issues that you may want to speak to me about. I'll be here after the meeting as well. Thank you.
This is a problem that started not a few years ago, but many years ago, when Mrs. Thatcher gave away our assets to a private company. And Peel Ports, with their massive profits every year, Ardrossan is just a pimple to them. But they have tried, CalMac have tried, and neither have got anywhere. CMAL are responsible for bringing it to a head by giving us a ferry which did not fit its home port. We didn't want that. Sheila was part of the ferry committee at the time, and what they asked for was 2 Caledonian Isles's. That's what we wanted. Coming back and forward 5 times a day in each of the ferries, that's what we needed now. Not some big ferry that, even from the start in the simulator, not even our most experienced captain could take that ferry in the simulator into Ardrossan. So why build it? Why set out and build a ferry like that? So CMA will have to be held to account for that, and something has to be done in the future to look at that. But we are where we are. What we need to do now is to get decisions made, and the decisions have to be made from Transport Scotland, or Inertia Scotland as I would call them, because they are the ones that have the ear of all the parties in Edinburgh. Our own MSPs here are bringing up the subject and getting nowhere. There has to be action now, not 10 years down the line. And as Matt said, if the decision is made now, we're still going to have to go to Troon for 2 years. Now that, as somebody that's getting older myself, and I might need hospital care, I want to be able to go to the mainland and get back in the same day as you want to go and do business on the mainland and come back the same day. We have to get this sorted right now, and it's time that the Fiona Hislop and Transport Scotland listen. Thank you very much indeed.